Doge is ending Social Security. In other words, Social Security phone service so people can find out about their benefits, cutting them off. The whole goal with Doge and with Elon is to end the services, gut them out from within, whether it's Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, Veterans Benefits, Affordable Care Act. You know, that's something we hadn't heard a lot about, Affordable Care Act. They're so busy hitting these other ones, right? You know they're coming for Affordable Care Act. But the idea is they're cutting off the services. You know, here's an example before with not just Social Security, but with Medicaid and Medicare. They cut off as of April 1st telehealth services. They're not funding telehealth services. You know how many seniors that's going to hurt? Yeah, they're coming after it. Who's fighting back? Of course, the courts. And the courts are holding them responsible for the last 8 weeks. Here's the score. We got 34 out of 35 trials we've won, or federal judgments. So we are winning 34-1, okay? And they are holding them responsible. Understand, no matter what Trump says or what he challenges or whatever, the people under him are the ones that are going to suffer the most. Let me give you an example. Right now, we got a case with this deportation last weekend that happened where they did not stop the deportations in time and hundreds of people went to El Salvador. And now the judge has them in a hearing. Explain the timeline to me. But while they have the judge in the hearing, the DOJ put a motion to replace the judge. There's no reason to replace the judge. They're just basically effing with the courts and with the judge. And if you think the judges and the courts and the judicial branch are going to change this judge just because you want to, because you know you might be held in contempt, that's crazy. That's crazy. It's not going to happen. So what I'm saying to you right now is they're up against it, meaning the Trump administration, and they're losing. So even though we're thinking, oh my God, they're cutting Social Security service, Elon's admit that he's after, taking down Social Security, the judicial branch has stood on the Constitution. They have tried and push the Constitution. Look at my other videos on it. Like, what is it that the U.S. Marshals going to do if they're pushed to that limit? What is it that law enforcement is going to do? They're going to look out for self-interest, and they're going to defend the Constitution, the hardcore ones. Everybody else, it might be iffy. But it's a rough situation. It's a fight, but there is a fight going on. You're talking about taking $2.5 trillion out of Social Security, and somebody's going to have a problem with that. And there's going to be a problem. He's not just going to walk all over us. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. There's too many people with invested interest in that to do that. He's going to try. And from what the judicial branch has been saying, and big shout out to all the attorney generals in Democratic states, attorney generals and governors like mine here in Illinois. Shout out to Pritzker and Kwame Raoul, who's been very low key. He's not like Letitia James and Tang over in Connecticut. He's not a high profile guy, but they sticking their head down and grinding, y'all. And I'm saying all this to say we do have a ton of people on our side. They are fighting. What you should be doing, and I know you get tired of hearing me say this, is connect with your representatives. But more importantly, get over at indivisible.org, because they got scripts. This weekend, they sent out a script for all of us to reach out to our Democratic senators, if you have one, to reach out to them to ask that Chuck Schumer get fired, which I thought was awesome. Indivisible is probably one of the best grassroots organizations I've seen of our time. And I'm not a endorser or anything of it. I'm just on the email list, y'all. You don't have to join nothing, go to meetings, though there are millions going to meetings. They're creating groups. That's great. But Leah and Ezra rock, and they're a married couple out of Indiana, but they are killing it. They are killing it, and they're really making change and effective. They're also the same organization that fought for the Affordable Care Act in the first term of Trump. First time I got into one of their Zoom calls, you had Elizabeth Warren on there, Senator Warren. So I was like, oh, this place they official. But they had tens of thousands of people on that call, and they continue to fight. This was back in November, December, after the election. I worked on Kamala Harris's election, by the way. So I just want you to know this is one of those things where we are fighting. So it's not just, ooh, Social Security getting attacked and gutted. It's over. No, that's what a lot of influencers are doing. They're like, oh, you hear what Trump and Elon are doing? Oh my God, jump in the air. They're selling you on the fear. I'm not. I'm giving you the truth, the facts, but I'm also giving you what is the scorecard over the last 8 weeks. I've been counting this something down, all right? And then I'm also giving you the helicopter view. How, don't confuse execution with effectiveness. And I give you some analogies like Rocky. Apollo Creed beat the mess out of Rocky and he still kept coming back and he won. Or how, George Foreman, Ali, and George Foreman beat him around that ring like crazy in Zaire. And he beat him in the 70s and Ali still ended up winning. I know they're swinging, but their swings are ineffective. How do we know? 34 judgments against them, and they've only won 35 judgments, and they only won one, the Trump administration. They are up against it, and they can't do anything about these federal judges because the federal judges are standing on Constitution. And we're talking about judges from every walk of life, from Trump-appointed judges, Reagan, Bush. They're like, no. So we're in a constitutional crisis, but we're going to win it. I want you to hold tight. And if you like everything that I said, you're listening this far, most certainly subscribe to my channel. God bless you. God bless America. We're going to make it through this.